I need you to pause for a moment and reflect deeply. This isn't just another motivational video. What I'm about to share with you could very well change the trajectory of your life. This is a call to action, an awakening, and a message you've been waiting for. Your dreams, no matter how big or small, are waiting for you. They're within reach. But here's the harsh reality. Nothing will happen unless you take that first step. The question is, will you? We've all been there. We've all had dreams that we've put off for a better time, or told ourselves that we'll start tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow is when you'll finally launch your side business, or when you'll get back into working out, or when you'll start writing the novel that's been simmering in your mind. But what if I told you tomorrow doesn't exist? What if I told you that the only moment you have is right now? We all face procrastination, and we've all given in to its allure at some point. But here's the truth. Procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's a psychological trap, one that we can escape by understanding its roots and using powerful strategies to overcome it. Right now, I want you to stop thinking about what you haven't done and focus on what you could do today. In this video, we'll uncover the science behind procrastination, why we all fall into its trap, and how you can start changing your habits immediately. Whether you're someone who struggles with procrastination daily, or just wants to get a little better at managing time, I'm here to guide you. Stick with me, because the steps you'll learn will not just help you overcome procrastination. They'll change the way you view success, productivity, and your own potential. Let's get started. The deep science of procrastination. You might think procrastination is just a bad habit, but the truth is, it's far more complicated than that. There's a complex web of psychological, emotional, and even physiological factors that influence why we procrastinate. Procrastination is a powerful force, but understanding its roots is the first step to gaining control over it. Let's take a deep dive into why we procrastinate and how you can break free from this cycle. 1. The role of fear and anxiety. At the heart of procrastination often lies fear. This fear is not just about failure. It's a complex mix of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. When you're afraid of how something will turn out, you will naturally try to avoid the situation altogether. This is your brain's way of protecting you from emotional discomfort. When faced with a daunting task, your brain tells you it's easier to avoid it than to face the discomfort of failure or uncertainty. However, by avoiding the task, you only create more fear and anxiety. The longer you put it off, the bigger the task feels, and the more fear it generates. It becomes a vicious cycle. You avoid the task to escape fear, but this avoidance causes even more anxiety, making it harder to start the task later. How to overcome it? The best way to handle this fear is to face it head on. But instead of focusing on the entire task, break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. Let's say you need to give a presentation. Instead of thinking, I have to create a 30-minute speech, break it down into steps. Write the outline, create the slides, rehearse the first section. Each step feels less overwhelming and gives you a sense of accomplishment, which reduces anxiety. As you check off each smaller task, you'll feel more confident and less afraid. 2. Instant gratification and the dopamine effect. Our brains are wired for immediate pleasure. We get a hit of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, whenever we do something enjoyable like scrolling through social media or eating a piece of chocolate. This makes instant gratification incredibly powerful and hard to resist. Tasks that are challenging, tedious, or uninteresting don't provide the same immediate reward, which is why our brains try to push them aside in favor of activities that are easier and more immediately pleasurable. The problem with this is that while short-term rewards like watching a YouTube video feel good in the moment, they don't help you move closer to your long-term goals. In fact, they can make you feel worse later because you haven't made progress on the things that truly matter. How to overcome it? One of the most powerful ways to overcome this tendency is by creating a reward system for yourself. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, promise yourself that you'll finish a task first. For example, I'll work for 25 minutes, and then I'll take a 10-minute break to check my social media. This is known as the Pomodoro technique, which we'll explore in more detail shortly. By structuring your work periods, and giving yourself small rewards. You train your brain to focus on long-term rewards. 3. Cognitive dissonance and internal conflict. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological phenomenon that happens when our actions conflict with our beliefs or values. If you believe that health is important, but keep avoiding your workout routine, your brain experiences discomfort. The more you delay the task, the greater the internal conflict becomes, and the more procrastination grows. How to overcome it? Instead of allowing the discomfort to build, face it directly. Accept that the internal conflict you feel is a sign that it's time to act. Recognize that the longer you procrastinate, the more painful it becomes. The key to overcoming this conflict is to take that first small action, no matter how imperfect it is. Once you've started, the discomfort fades away and the task becomes easier. 4. The illusion of time and the future self problem. Procrastination often occurs because we think we have plenty of time. We convince ourselves that we can always do it tomorrow or next week. But tomorrow never truly arrives. When tomorrow comes, it's always today. This is why we tend to procrastinate on tasks that require long-term effort or commitment, like exercising regularly, saving for the future, or building a business. The problem is that this mindset robs us of our ability to take action now, in the present moment. We convince ourselves that we'll be able to handle the task when the time is right, but the truth is that we never know when that moment will come. How to overcome it? The best way to combat this illusion is by shifting your focus from the future to the present. Instead of thinking about how you'll feel when you've accomplished the task, focus on how you'll feel when you take the first step today. You don't have to finish everything at once, but taking that first small action creates momentum, and that momentum builds over time. Actionable strategies to conquer procrastination. Understanding procrastination is half the battle, but the real challenge is taking action. Now, let's dive into strategies that will help you break free from the chains of procrastination. These techniques will not only help you get more done, but will also make you feel more in control of your life. 1. The power of starting small. The key to overcoming procrastination is to make the task feel less overwhelming. If you need to write a 10-page report, it's easy to feel paralyzed by the enormity of it. But if you commit to writing just one paragraph, the task doesn't seem so daunting. The trick is to lower the stakes. Once you start, you'll find that you often keep going because momentum has already built up. 2. Implement the Pomodoro technique. As I mentioned earlier, the Pomodoro technique is a time management method that works wonders for overcoming procrastination. You work for 25 minutes straight, then take a 5-minute break. This structure creates urgency without causing burnout. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break. This method trains your brain to focus for short bursts and rewards it with breaks, making it easier to get into a productive flow. 3. Visualization and mental rehearsal. Visualization isn't just a motivational technique. It's scientifically proven to improve performance. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing the success you'll achieve once you've completed a task. Imagine the satisfaction, the pride, and the relief of getting it done. Visualization helps program your brain to believe that success is possible, making it easier to take action. 4. Set clear, achievable goals. Procrastination often occurs when we have vague or unrealistic goals. If you're aiming for something big, break it down into smaller, achievable steps. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I will write 1 blog post this week, or I will send 5 networking emails today. Clear goals give you something concrete to work toward and make it easier to track progress. 5. Create accountability. Share your goals with someone else. Whether it's a friend, family member, or coworker, having someone to hold you accountable makes it much harder to procrastinate. You don't want to let them down, and the added pressure will push you to take action when you're tempted to put things off. 6. Reframe your self-talk. The way you talk to yourself can make a huge difference in your productivity. If you constantly say, I'll never be able to do this, or I don't have enough time, you're setting yourself up for failure. Reframe your self-talk to something more empowering, like, I have everything I need to succeed, or I can break this down into manageable steps. Positive self-talk creates a mindset of action and possibility. Procrastination doesn't define you, and it doesn't have to control your life. By understanding its roots and applying powerful strategies, you can break free from the cycle of avoidance. The most important thing to remember is that you can start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for tomorrow. Start with one small step and let that lead to another. The life you want is within reach, and it's waiting for you to take action. Make the choice to stop procrastinating and start living the life you deserve. It's time to turn your dreams into reality.